K-pop demon hunters Haja Boy's breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Chanelle S. Reynolds, and you are now listening to the Success Playbook Podcast. Y'all, it feels like it's been such a long time since I've been able to say that, but you all know I had some competing priorities going on, but your girl is now officially a doctor. Yes, you heard that right, Dr. Chanelle S. Reynolds. So yeah, I had to just get myself back together, get back in the creative mood, and I am just excited to be here with you all today. Today, again, you're listening to the Success Playbook Podcast, and we're going to talk about something that a lot of people are watching, but not everybody is talking about. Or they might be talking about it, but they don't really know the depths of how big this moment is. So the 2026 WNBA Draft. Now, on the surface level, it's easy to look at this as just another draft night. Names being called, jerseys being handed out, big smiles, big moments. But if you're paying attention, this is so much bigger than basketball, y'all. This is about visibility. This is about branding. This is about preparation, meeting opportunity in real time. We are watching women walk into rooms already knowing who they are, already having their brands and their platforms built out, already positioned for what's next. And to me, that's the real story. Because whether you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, or a woman navigating your career, there's a playbook here. There are lessons in how you show up, how you prepare, and how you position yourself before the opportunity even arrives. So today we're not just breaking down the WNBA draft. We're breaking down the strategy behind the moment and what it looks like to turn visibility into real opportunity. So let's get into it. What's up, everybody? You are now listening to the Success Playbook Podcast, where we talk about pop culture, life and career success, and of course, we're going to talk about who got dunked on the night before. I'm your host, Chanelle S. Reynolds, and I've been in the sports industry for several years. My goal is to take what I've learned from years of dominating the sports industry as a Black woman to help my listeners defy the odds and level up in life and career. Now, let's dig into this week's episode. Okay, y'all, welcome back. So, as I said, today was not just about talking about WNBA draft, but it's about the playbook behind the moment, because what we're seeing isn't just about the athletes. It is about women stepping into opportunities that they were already prepared for. So let's talk about, point number 1, which is preparation and presence. So what we saw last night watching the draft, what stood out wasn't just the talent for me. It was the presence. It was the confidence. It was the exposure. I don't know if y'all saw the one picture. I think ESPNW posted it. But all the ladies were just standing on stage and everybody just looked ready. Nobody was unsure of themselves. Nobody was second guessing themselves. Nobody shrunk. Everybody stood there tall, confidently, and ready to take on the moment of the night. Everybody looked amazing, okay? And I'm going to make this my first point. When you look good, you smell good, you show up more confidently. And that goes across the board, okay? Even with me in a corporate, still in the sports environment, but more so corporate, I realize that I perform better when I am dressed up, when I am confident, when I know I look good, the outfit is T, the hair is T, nails done, hair, everything done. I know that I perform better that way. That's just me, and that's how I like to show up. It's so much so that a part of my brand is, oh yeah, Chanelle always get dressed up. Oh yeah, Chanelle always wearing heels. That's just who I am now. That's how people see me. And it's because I know that when I dress up, I show up more confidently. And I do believe that the ladies that participated in the WNBA draft, they were dressed to the nines. And I believe that when you're dressed like when you put thought into how you show up and how you present yourself to the world, you have no choice but to show up extra confidently. So I love how they did that and how they made that a part of their moment. It's like they all collectively just got together and was like, all right, y'all, we about to get fly. Okay. They got in a group chat and they said, okay, now you wear black, you wear the dress, you wear the shoes. It was like they were all on one accord, and baby, they looked amazing. I absolutely love Flau'jae had the middle part bust down. She had the black dress. She was looking amazing. All of them were looking amazing, but it was like, listen, everything was just so top tier. Okay, moving on to our next success tip. It is really important that we are ready, and I want you to write this down. Be ready before your name is called. So when we think about your career, your business, your life, opportunities don't always give you a heads up. Preparation is what makes you look like a natural. Preparation is what makes you show up and outperform. It makes you a greater competitor in whatever marketplace you're in. Even though it's actually intentional, it's because you actually prepared. One of the things that I love to talk about anytime I'm on a panel is you're going to always hear me talk about preparation. Why? Because preparation breeds confidence. So you can tell that every lady that was on that stage in that room ready to hear their names called, you can tell that they prepared for this moment, and you can tell that they started at a very young age. You can tell that they did not just, wake up and say, I think I'm gonna do this. You can tell that they dedicated their life's work for this moment. They dedicated their livelihood for this moment. You can tell that it's been a lot of late nights and early morning practices. You can tell that it's been a lot of mental coaching. You can tell that it's been a lot of nutrition and training. And that, y'all, you may not realize it, but that translates to us too. Although we may not be in the WNBA draft, although we may not be professional athletes, you have to make it a part of your lifestyle to prepare for the opportunities that you want. I am going to always tell y'all that in my career, anytime I'm on a panel, somebody asks me, okay, so you're a Black woman, you're in this industry, how is it that you can go in confidently? And I'm always going to tell them, y'all, it's because I prepare. Before any meeting, I am studying what it is I want to say. I am taking notes before I go into that meeting. I am, depending on what the topic is, I'm doing research on what other team, what other league, who else has implemented something similar to what I'm about to pitch to these people. I am doing the work to ensure that I am not going to be thrown off my game. Although I may not know all the questions that may be asked of me beforehand, I'm prepared so well, so much. I've studied this so much. I've become a student to this so much before stepping into the room that I am confident enough to answer any question that comes my way. And I'm so confident that even if I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you, I don't know the answer, but let me find out for you. So I think this is number 2, success tip number 2, be ready before your name is called, y'all, because preparation breeds confidence. Okay, so let's pivot a little bit and talk about business and ownership and your branding, how you brand yourself, right? So talking about the business side of these young ladies that participated in the 2026 WNBA Draft, a lot of players are coming in with NIL deals, partnerships, and built-in audience. And honestly, y'all, that is a shift. We're in different times now, because that did not exist like even a couple of years ago, and definitely not 5-10 years ago. So, they're stepping in, and they already have these wonderful platforms because they've taken early ownership of who they are and how they want to show up. And honestly, that's commendable. They were not waiting for the league to define their value, right? They understand, yes, WNBA draft night is a big deal. Getting into the WNBA is a big deal, but they realize I'm a big deal too. So I'm going to get these big deals while I'm still on my college campus before I even step foot on a WNBA court, right? So they were walking in it before they walked into it. That's a word, okay? They were walking in their branding. They were walking in who they already were before they actually walked onto the court, Before they dribbled a WNBA basketball, they already built an effective brand that speaks for them. So that brings me to my next success tip number 3. Build your brand before you actually need it. I say it like this. I want to build a personal brand and a professional brand so strong that it speaks for me before I enter the room. It speaks for me beyond my resume, and it echoes who I am, even though I may not be in that area. Although I may not be present, you've already experienced Chanelle because my personal and professional brand is so strong. And I'm strategic about that. Don't wait until you get to the opportunity to start showing up. Visibility creates opportunity, and there's no way around that. Oftentimes when I'm doing panel discussions and workshops, I have students ask me about how do they get their start. And I say, like, don't get too caught up into it. Just start. We have so many tools nowadays where you can literally just start doing what it is that you want to do without actually being in that lane yet. If you want to do social media, if you want to be in video broadcasting or production or some sort of maybe podcasting or media, you have the tools to start today, and you have the tools to build a brand so that when your career opportunity does actually start to come into fruition, the employer doesn't have to look far to see what you can do. All they have to do is look at the portfolio you've already built, and they can take that and run with it. But it's so important for you to build your brand before you actually need it. All right, now I think I already touched on this briefly, but just to expound a little bit more, let's speak about the fashion piece, because use your image as a strategy. Like fashion, because this is where, culture and strategy really can meet, you can leverage that to your advantage if you so choose. Draft night has become a full-on branding moment, so every look is intentional, every detail tells a story, and this isn't just about style, it's actually about positioning and how they want to be seen as athletes and young ladies on the court, young ladies leading the game. So they leverage fashion as a part of their overall strategy. So success tip number 4 for you is your image is part of your strategy, which again we talked about earlier. How you show up visually communicates your confidence, your brand, and your value before you even say a word. Moving on to the bigger picture, equity and leverage. Now, here's the bigger conversation. Visibility is growing, but investment, pay, and long-term support still have a gap. So the real question becomes, how do you navigate spaces that are still catching up? And that brings me to my next tip, success tip number 5, and I believe this is our last tip, is don't wait for the validation. Create your own leverage. Know your worth, advocate for it, and position yourself so opportunities have to rise to meet you. I think that we've seen some amazing examples out there about how these young ladies have, again, built such a strong brand that organizations like the WNBA and other organizations had to rise to the occasion to accommodate them because they became so great and they leveraged their values so well that their surrounding organizations had no choice but to rise to the occasion to meet them where they are. Isn't that a beautiful thing though? Like, you have the power to not only elevate who you are, but because you're elevating who you are, you're requiring organizations who want to engage you to elevate themselves to meet you where you are. What I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you're in the job market, right? I have several friends that has done this, even in the sports industry. Let's say you're in the job market, you're going for an interview. You are so good at this thing. Let's say you're so, you have the credentials, you have the experience, you're, well liked throughout the interview process. I've had people tell me that the position had a certain title and a certain budget, but because they wanted them so bad, they bumped up the title from like director to vice president, and that included more of a pay band. They gave them more money because the organization had to rise to the occasion. So become so good that others have to rise to the occasion to meet you. I'm going to say that again. Become so good, so extraordinary that others will have to rise to the occasion to meet you. Like, that is such a powerful word, and I think we're going to end it there. So, y'all, the 2026 WNBA Draft was such an amazing moment, and y'all know I'm gonna always take like a career-driven spin when it comes to this work. So I hope you got value out of today's episode. Every draft pick represents more than a moment. It represents preparation, it represents strategy, and it represents their own self-belief, which trickled into the world believing in them, honestly. So your playbook is simple: be ready, build early, be intentional, and don't wait to be validated. Validate yourself, okay? So once again, y'all, it's your girl Chanelle S. Reynolds. I'm your host here on the Success Playbook Podcast. Now go execute. Go get it, y'all. See you.